And what was your mom like? How would you describe her?
I'd say, well, first of all, she lived a very long time, so she was a different throughout her entire life. There was a lot of change in the way she was, and you really can't react to that early on when you're really a small kid. I'd say that she was all of the people, the relatives, because of this situation that they were in, were tough. I would say tough. You didn't have much. You had to put up with what happened. I mean, you didn't control much. You didn't have anybody to help you except relatives. There were no services available, no nannies. There were no help. It was all you did it or it didn't get done. And there were a lot of hazards and hardships. We moved from there not long after. I'm guessing when I was 5. And I sat on my grandfather's knee, Grandpa Rose, in an old Studebaker truck with everything in it from the house, as we moved from Coolidge, a small house there in a town, out onto what you would call today as a cabin on the farm near Stanfield. And there was nothing out there. There was no electricity. I think there was some gas, but no electricity. And there was nobody around. It had 2 rooms and a kitchen living room combination. It was just a little square box right in the middle of the dirt.
And that was the first farm?
That was the first place I lived on the farm.
Okay.
And at that point, we had maybe my brother Tom might have been a baby, and Marianne wasn't, I don't think, born yet at that point, but could have just been born. So there was my mom with 3 little kids, and there were rattlesnakes everywhere and dust, and the men were always gone during the day, and they were working all around the area. There was no services. There were a lot of things. Water was erratic. Everything was hard. There was no hustling into town to get stuff. It was a good little ways from stuff.
Did it feel like a hard childhood, or did it just feel normal?
No, it didn't feel like a hard childhood at all.
Okay.
I would have to say that would be true of all the cases. I didn't have a hard childhood. There was no kickback or blowback or fallback on that. They were busy and hardworking, and we felt, we were eating, and we were tended, and we looked after, and things. We had made our own activities. There was nobody. We didn't have preschool or anything like that. There were no playgrounds, but there was stuff to do. Go outside and play in the mud.
When did you start helping on the farm? How old were you?
We moved from there back into Casa Grande, a nearby town, and my dad bought a house there, and that was the first actual real house we had in town, and it was a relatively nice place. It's actually still there today as well. It was, that's where I first went to school. We did that so we start first grade and go to school. And we didn't work on the farm. He was gone again, dawn to dusk. This is probably not until 4th or 5th grade did we actually have him around much, because we lived in town for 3 or 4 or 5 years. We actually moved back out onto the ranch when I was in the 6th grade. 5th grade going on 6th grade. At that point, we actually, he built another house, a nice house, a brand new house on the property that he actually farmed. So we saw him a lot then. We all lived there, and every day he would come in, and he would come in for lunch, and before he was too far away to come home for lunch. It just wouldn't happen.
Okay.
And so at that case, we were able to go to work on the farm, and we did. We had things to do, and we had opportunities to play, around the farm areas. There was some land, there was desert land around it, and there were crops. There was always something going on, and we ultimately had livestock as well. So we inherited the jobs of tending the livestock.
Which meant what? Feeding the calves?
Getting up early, feeding the cattle, and messing with the horses, and finding them when they got out, and other tasks you would do on the weekend. Looking after the small animals, selling them, taking them to the slaughterhouse, deworming them, everything you could imagine doing, cleaning out their pens, transporting food, hay, grain, whatever we'd have to go get food for them, herding them around the property, building fences, corrals, stacking hay, and this was all not part of the main farm. The farm was not that job. That was on the side. The animals were part of a side kind of a farm. They were not the primary product.